Batman issue 86, James Tynion the fourth, writing with Tony S. Daniel. And they are obviously the start of a new run. Kind of exciting. To put it in perspective, this is the first time we've had a new Batman run since episode 1 of this podcast.
Not like
maybe
it
episode
is.
2 if you count the rebirth one.
I'd count that as the start of the run. that counts.
Yes.
But yeah, so it says episodes. Well, actually, episode 1 was the rebirth.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh,
Rebirth.
I thought you meant Batman Rebirth issue 1. So
No.
So technically episode 2, but there you go. So this is kind of weird. It's taken this long to start a new run on Batman, but here we are. So some interesting stuff in this issue. I will say the one thing that not negative per se, but it did sort of take me some adjusting because I've been reading King's Batman for years at this point. Is that this took longer than 3 minutes to read because there's lots and lots of speech bubbles in it now.
There's actual dialogue, sentences.
But so we all know that I'm a sucker for the mid-2000 comics, right? That's my era. Whatever the metaverse called that era.
Yeah, you mean the same era that Tynion is a sucker for.
Yeah, exactly. Me and Tynion are about the same age. Like we'd have gone to high school together. And this immediately felt from the first 2 pages felt like that era of Batman, and I felt comfortable because when I was reading that era of Batman, I didn't dislike Batman as much as I did.
Yeah,
later,
Matt was reading a lot of
right?
Batman. Don't let him pretend otherwise.
Yeah. So
He always reads a lot of Batman. He just moans about it sometimes.
Matt's read more Batman issues than he has Superman issues. I'm calling it.
that's not just by the sheer volume. That's true. But I hadn't become annoyed by the Batman tropes yet, and they're here, right? But I feel Tynion handles them very well. I don't feel like it's because Batman. There's things that at play here where it feels like a culmination of different Batmans that we've had. Like there's some animated series in there. There's some movie Batman. So
the gist of what's happening here is that there's a gathering of criminals, of assassins in Gotham. We're introduced to, and it kind of it hides who's brought them here, and we find out later it's Deathstroke who's brought a bunch of characters. But Cheshire,
okay, I'm getting that out of the way first because I knew both of you guys pronounce it Cheshire. It's Cheshire, and if she's a recurring character, we're getting that right now.
I said Cheshire there.
Okay, you did that time, but every other time you've ever spoken about it, you say Cheshire.
It's Cheshire.
It's just not. Matt.
I don't care. I don't care.
Fine, I don't care. I am American. I will say it
Connor's
as slack-jawed as possible.
A dick about this. He can't have people say what he deems it to be incorrect. I don't care, Matt. Say whatever you want.
What I deem to be incorrect. The correct and incorrect.
Anyways, I am a big fan of Cheshire. So when I saw her show up, I go, oh, okay, Tynion, you know the way to my heart. She's such a good villain. I associate her with the Titans runs and whatnot. It's
I haven't seen much of her in a while. It's just popped up here and there occasionally.
Yeah. So
and then you got Merlin. You have some new guy called Gunsmith who I could have sworn was Sportmaster by the way he was dressed.
So so you've got this meeting, and they're here for whatever reason. Batman eventually, tracks them down, and comes in, and we get a lot of really cool fighting with Deathstroke and the smoke pellets and all the rest of it. Meanwhile, Catwoman is kind of undercover. I mean, she's still Selina. She's not pretending to be anyone else, but
undercover.
But she's there to actually spy out and catch this guy up to no good.
Yeah. So there's a Wayne event that he's supposed to be at to meet with the mayor.
It's like a fundraiser to build the new city skyline or whatever.
Yeah. And that basically after the city of Bane, Wayne is it Wayne Tech, Wayne Industries? What is it now?
Wayne Industries, I've said, but
yeah. Anyways, his company is basically rebuilding Gotham, and this is a fundraiser for that. And
I will say
it's Wayne Enterprises because there's a big sign on the big splash page.
Okay.
What I will say is that I like that continuity-wise, Catwoman's still a main character and she's still a close ally. It's not like she's just disappeared or she's a villain right now. It does feel like it follows on. Although, notably, her hair's growing out. They're going with the shoulder length now for Selina. Rechange.
Still that suit that I don't like from Jones's run.
Sure, but that's just
But
again keeping in continuity. Yeah.
well, I know, but it's a Batman Returns.
It's kind of weird seeing Batman and Catwoman together and not having them call each other Bat and Cat now.
Yeah.
Like
I'm okay
it's
with
it's
that.
it's been so long since someone else has written them.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so she's doing almost like the PR that Bruce is running late. He'll be here almost as.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the cover is. If like what is Selena Kyle's history like in the DC universe?
I don't know.
Like,
I
is
assume
it publicly known?
I assume at this party
No.
she's just Bruce Wayne's girlfriend or.
Right, but
Yeah.
my point is like, is she like a socialite type that runs in these circles? Is she like, this hard Scrabble, make it herself type person? Like, are they aware of Selena Kyle? Or is she like a Gotham figure?
I don't think they're aware of her, no. But I feel like hanging out with Bruce now, she's kind of becoming a socialite, probably.
By association.
Yeah, but I'm like, are they aware of her criminal past? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Gotcha. So she's just like a. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, she catches a guy in the server room, and he basically when she catches him, he starts bubbling and bleeding from the eyes, and then this other voice comes out of his mouth in a green font, which I think leads to speculation of who's behind what's going on. Right? Like now, given all the art featuring Riddler and we've got green text, it doesn't necessarily sound exactly like Riddler.
No, I wouldn't say it's Riddler. It's also reminiscent of Cheshire, the poison she used on the doorman.
Oh, yeah, true.
It is, but I think it is worth noting that, especially as we had the backup in the last issue of
Joker,
of Kings, and it's here again. Yeah, we got Joker, who is also, got a big association with Green.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could just be Joker. Very right. And you've got Batman talking to Lucius, and he after he fights Deathstroke and he's kind of out of it, and he's all beaten, he calls Lucius Alfred, and it's kind of this sad moment. So, I still think the death was handled really weirdly. They are treating it like a big deal now that we're past it.
Yeah, this moment right here, like more emotion than King at all.
It's just Bruce is so used to having Alfred on the com for years that he just says it without even thinking.
And Lucius has also created this new bat plane. Type thing.
It's like a bat crab thing that turns into a plane that can fly.
Yeah,
it's a transformer.
And it's. I like what Tynion did here by that. There's a new Wayne campus, and that they put in a fully automated machine shop, right? They can machine things right there. So he gave them plans with earlier in the day, and that Lucius had this thing put together, so it's not quite ready.
Honestly,
for prime time.
I mean, given how far we've come with 3D printers and stuff, it totally makes sense at this point that Batman would just have like an automated system that could plug the designs into and just go build it.
And I get that Bruce would have one of those, but I do like that Tynion put in there like Lucius is like, okay, but it's not really ready for people. You're not giving me time to test it.
If it was one of our defense contractors, I'd say we were about 6 months away from safety testing. For me to put a person inside it.
And so, but I like that. I like that he's telling Bruce his limits. Yes, you're Batman. You can do all this stuff, but
that probably fits
you're going too fast.
That fits with Batman's character, right? But I do kind of like the idea that because of Alfred's death, he is kind of like. He's on this edge right now where he's taking risks he doesn't need to take. He's driving himself harder in a way he doesn't need to because of Alfred's death.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
So we were talking a lot about how there was Batman had the motivation of like, okay, doing this so he can stop being Batman, and how that's kind of not really been the case in modern runs for a while.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird that a lot of this issue is him going, I'm going to build the city so I don't need to be Batman.
Yeah, well, that's what he talks about. He talks about Alfred, like, always... Because Alfred always wants him to do that. Alfred always wants him to stop being Batman and give up and get a normal life.
Right.
And I do kind of love the idea that the motivation for him to finally maybe try and do that is Alfred's death. The idea that Alfred's death makes him want to honour Alfred's wishes and try and be what Alfred always wanted for him. Now, it's a little bit weird coming right after King's Run, where he was kind of doing that via marriage, or trying to, for a while. So there's almost like a weird, not clash, but like just a weird
This
theme.
makes more sense to me, though, in this for Batman, in that it's not just about the personal
happiness
that he can give up. More, he has succeeded. Is the way he's trying to go about this,
Right.
just not in the way he thought originally.
Well, because that's what he says at the
And
start.
Batman's-
He says that Alfred always said that, hey, well, why don't you not put on the cape and cowl for one night and try and build something that'll last and not just be like a deterrent. Try and build something that'll be in your safe place.
It's when people on Twitter are like, well, if Batman really wants to change Gotham, why doesn't he divert some of those billions that he has into fixing the city's infrastructure and public programs?
And this is literally exactly what he's doing now.
And it's exactly what Tynion's doing, right? Is that he's having, Wayne's basically redesigning Gotham, the skyline. And there's a little piece in the beginning where he used to doodle, or Bruce would doodle in his case books, the skyline, but he would change it, and Alfred would always call it, Bruce's Gotham, or whatever it was.
Again,
and,
that kind of that goes back to the idea of like this was something that Bruce his path might have led to before the idea of Batman came into existence.
when you have the parents that he does and what they had done, but
I think that's what makes it work, though, is that it's not that Alfred's deaths sort of motivate him to try and be something that just Alfred wanted to be. It's that Alfred wanted him to be something that he saw in him anyway before Batman.
He just wanted to nurture that side of him. Like even when he was Batman, he talks about how he always did these just random drawings of ideas of buildings for Gotham.
Yeah.
And Alfred's always seen it as we can nurture this side of you.
And we kind of have been there before in different versions. Like with Kingdom Come Batman, he's completely taken over Gotham, and you have the Batbots that go around.
It's not even a million miles away from Batman Inc. in the sense of
that's what I was just going to get to. Where Morrison is he gets to the point where he has Batman agents, and he can kind of be M from Bond.
Yeah.
And he can be the front facing of this as Bruce Wayne, and not have to be Batman. And so I like that concept of, out of all these characters in DC, right? We talk about legacy. Batman really is the one that, I don't want to say leans on it because that's not the right word, but
I think it's natural.
He's built for legacy.
It's natural because, I mean, just to quote a line from Dark Knight Rises, Batman could be anyone, that's the point. You can't say that about Superman. Superman can't be anyone because you have to be Kryptonian with superpowers. The Flash can't be anyone because you have to have Speed Force powers. But the whole point of Batman is that anyone conceivably could be Batman.
He's a symbol and whatnot. And now that Bruce, I feel like now minus Alfred, he's like, well, okay, I am a symbol. How am I going to make this better? And I really like that. And again, with Tynion coming up around the same time I did and reading these books, there's a familiarity there, and it fits right into that continuity kind of super well. So yeah, it's real cool.
Yeah. So now the motivation stuff's good. Obviously, all the assassins stuff is fun. The fight with Deathstroke is really well drawn. Tony Daniel's art is really good.
Mr. Teeth creeped me out.
Yeah, Mr. Teeth's great.
Like that Tony Daniel art has his count. So his faces, I've always on women, always kind of off to me where they're mannequin-esque. Like his Catwoman, when we first see her, it's a little bit weird.
I didn't have a problem with that picture. Was the one panel even that I had a problem with is when Cheshire first meets Merlin, and I it wasn't even until she said his name that I knew it was Merlin, because I was actually thinking maybe Raz because of the
they're kind of similar. They're from that same neck of the woods.
Yeah,
you know. So,
but when it was a couple of the faces there just felt maybe just a bit too pointy. Yeah. I guess is how I'd describe it. It's a bit too sharp edges, but.
It's a Tony Daniel thing because he's done this across.
It is,
but the action's great. All the stuff of Batman on the on the rooftops in the rain, all that stuff looks really good. It's really good.
I'm really sad that Tony Daniel's not the regular artist on this book.
Because then you get to the backup.
We're getting to Gillen March. Now, admittedly, if Gillen March is only, I mean, we know he's not, but let's say he was only on these 2-page backups for a while, that'd be okay. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's just a couple of pages at the back. The backups, for the record, it does that whole thing. It's basically the opening of the Dark Knight where the henchmen have been told to kill each other, and then the final one's killed by Joker. We don't see Joker. We just see these people, these clown henchmen.
You put on a roller coaster. It's set on fire.
Yeah, they set a roller coaster on fire, and then one of them kills the two others, and then Joker blows up the van that the last guy goes into.
Yeah.
So it's teasing that Joker's involved in a lot of this, and that we're building to him. which is fun. I like the idea of making Joker feel like a big deal, even though arguably it's easy to do that now when he's used so much. But I think you can in each individual run, and I appreciate that it's just built into that. So
you'd just appreciate it more if it was a different artist.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, Gilliam March sucks. But the upside, though, is that because they're all wearing masks for the most part in this little backup, is that his art didn't bother me as much as it normally does.
It amazes me that, okay, his faces are definitely the worst thing he does.
Yes.
I can like some really scratchy art. His I really hate, even like this, and it's like scratchy. I just hate it, and it's so different to Tony Daniels' art as well that it's jarring.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, I feel kind of refreshed on Batman. It's kind of nice to just have a new story and a new feel to it. We'll see like how it holds up or how well it goes, but it's a solid enough start, I thought.
Yeah, I was really into this first issue.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right, well, we'll rate it then. Matt, what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give this a solid 8. Great start. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Connor?
I'm gonna go with an 8.5, although I nearly took the 0.5 off just for March's art.
I will give it a solid 8 as well. I think it's a fine start. And maybe some of the I could almost sense some of that Snyder influence in some of the narration at the start. It maybe took a bit too long to explain what it was saying, but minor, really minor. Maybe that's just being used to King's really succinct, quick.
I think it's
bursts.
interesting because obviously he is a Snyder student, and Snyder's whole thing is your first page sets up your entire story, not just this issue, your whole story.
Yeah.
And looking at his first page, it is all about
it's
not
a thesis.
needing Batman, but building. So I think it works in that context.
Yeah, it almost reminded me of like some of Snyder's like Gates of Gotham and some of that early stuff with Court Owls talking about the city. It was reminding me of those things. But no, we'll see how it goes. And I'm definitely at the point now with Tynion where, I mean, Snyder's had bigger highs in terms of Black Mirror and American Vampire, but like I like Tynion's detective run more than anything Snyder's done in years. So I am very optimistic about what he's going to do with his Batman run. So
I'm looking forward to it.